Do you kids like to use the worldwide interweb?
The internet?
We do. We know what it is. Well, there was an item published on the
Internet.
Marketing Tech Blog.
This is Marketing Tech Blog. Doug, give us an idea what's going on.
All right, so we got a lot of content this week.
Yeah, we've been watching it.
So everybody, I'm going to run quickly through some of the things. Right On Interactive, which is a company that's actually a client and sponsor on the blog, they do marketing automation. So that in their system, basically, you can set up events when people do a certain event on your site or even off-site. It can trigger emails and trigger events that happen to help your sales team kind of get people along. They did an interesting thing, and they added social scoring to it. So now you can actually take, and if someone retweets or someone tweets or direct messages you, you can see it in your dashboard. You can link that to a contact in your contact database and now start scoring their activity socially as well. So what it can enable you to do is, if you've got people out there that are, Amal Dalvi, one of the founders, calls it a loudspeaker, that you have those clients that love you, that talk about you, everything else. Well, their score would go up, and you might have a different marketing path for them. You might have some kind of plan set up specific to their behavior.
And on top of that, it gives you the way to automatically notice those particular individuals.
Absolutely.
And what social media is all about is be able to reach back to the customers and give a little accolade. Thanks so much for championing us.
You've hit a home run with social media when your customers are selling you.
Yep.
Right. So this is a cool play. The second one we were just talking about offline was Optimizely. So awesome, a nice discovery from a friend of mine, Scott Hoffman, who runs a big data company. We'll probably talk about him next week. Optimizely is a A/B testing tool, and for anybody who's done website development, we put so much work into the development that we often don't test. I'm guilty. Most people are guilty.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're implementing more than you're ever testing, but testing has proven to show incredible results. We ran a test. There's another blog post where we just did a call to action, and we changed the color of the call to action. That's all we did. And we had one with a green button that literally got twice the subscriptions as the others. Just changing the color.
It can be as simple as that.
Same exact text, everything else. So testing is one of those things that, and it's brutal, right? If you go to Google's testing engine, you got to embed script and do this and do that, and you got to plan and strategize everything else. Well, Optimizely basically built this system that's kind of an edit-in-place real-time system. And you can even set the rule that, hey, once we reach a statistic value of X, just show the winner. From here on out.
Right.
So basically, you can run multivariate tests and A/B tests. Multivariate means I can change 5 things at a time, and it'll figure out the best combinations. Or A/B tests, where I can change one thing and do a comparison between different versions.
Right. And this gets down to, you can actually bold something, bold a piece of text, and move a link around, or
resize an image. And do it right on your site. I mean, it's
real time. It's almost like you're driving a car in traffic.
It's a little bit too good to be true.
I know.
So we got a great piece of advice from Email Vision. They put out a great survey, and it was tips to avoid brand resentment with your email strategy. So
I resent all email strategies.
And it's a big problem nowadays. People's inboxes are so full that companies are actually starting to hurt their brand, not help it by sending more and more emails.
I can definitely see that.
And on top of that, they're not aware of it, so they're keeping it hidden. If people are bouncing off or just not opening up, they can't really extrapolate that data nearly as well as they should.
Yep. And then the last one, and this might be exciting to you guys because you guys are SEO buffs like us. We actually did our own discovery this week with Google Webmasters tools, and that's that we were running. We ran a report, and we exported the data based on people's views in search engines and their click-through rate. And when we got the report out of Google Webmasters data, so this is, remember that Webmasters data is how you're performing on the search engine. It has nothing to do with your site. The click-through is, now they're in your analytics, but
Right.
these are people before analytics.
Which is even more important sometimes.
It really is. We spend a lot of time there. But what we noticed with this, it's a very large client. What we noticed was all of their clicks and views were on branded terms and some very, very high short tail, what do you call them?
Fatheads.
Fathead keywords.
Not your long tail.
Not long tail.
Not the chimpanzee tail. Wait a
And
minute, we don't have tails.
So these long tail all had zeros. They had 0 views, 0 click-throughs. And we're going, wait a second, that can't be right. We go into analytics and we mash the two, and it's totally wrong. That there's a ton of clicks and a ton of views. So then we go to the help files of Google Webmasters, and guess what?
What?
They clip them. They literally clip them. If it's under 10 views, they'll just cut it to 0. So you'll have tons of zeros in Google Webmasters on that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So a huge discovery for us that they're not paying attention to the long tail at all in Google Webmasters tools.
That's uncool. I'm sorry.
That is uncool. Yeah. So, and it's in
because actually that's
the paragraph fine print of the help file.
nice. Because I mean, just to talk about Webmaster Tools, just a quick more. What that is that gives you the view of how effective your organic ad is, for lack of a better expression. And whenever you're displaying the title and search your own company, search your own phrases, and what's being displayed in that search engine result is what people are attracted to click on. Now, we know the top rankings get the most traffic,
Right.
but there is another battle going on of the crafting of the title, crafting of what's actually shown in the excerpt of that website.
Exactly.
And you can affect those click-through rates by changing up some of the content
significantly.
And what they're saying is that the qualified terms, the actual long terms that we're really trying to get in front of, they're not even showing you the improvements.
It says these numbers can be rounded and may not be exact. That's the exact terms that they use. And what we found, and you guys can do it too, test it on one of your clients. Just do an export of like 1 month of that data, and you'll see zeros, and 0 click through. But when you get to your analytics, the data is there that long tail is absolutely driving a lot of traffic.
Wow. Yeah, and if I could just for the listeners, if you haven't experienced Webmasters Tools, make sure that your web developer or the company that manages their website has that engaged.
Yeah.
If they don't, it's very easy to do that, and you're losing a lot of real estate visibility, not just your traffic internally, but it's how you talked to Google.
And,
And Google talks to you.
That's right.
Yeah, and literally how Google talks to you. You can set up your email address in there that every time there's an alert about your site, Google will notify you. So they do. They notify people if their WordPress or Drupal or Joomla is out of date.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's malware detected, if there's anything, they'll email you immediately and let you know.
It shows you how many kittens with mittens you actually do have on your site.
Hey, you know what else we found? And it's on our Twitter stream, but we haven't announced it on our blog yet.
Oh, snap.
We found a guy out there that wrote a nice tiny little script to track your ranking in Google Analytics.
Really?
Yes. So we will post
As a custom report?
as an event.
As an event?
Yes. And we have it running on the Marketing Tech blog right now.
And it's not just falls within 1 through 10, falls...
It's basically the average search ranking that Webmasters passes.
Wow.
So because that's in the query string of the header header request to your site. So this guy wrote that. Now the thing that's even more important about it in my book is he's actually showing you when it's not provided,
Right.
but attaching that to a URL. So you can still see that a specific URL is driving a ton of search traffic.
Okay, for everybody, we've just talked shop to the degree that
You'd be-
we're excited.
Geek
Nobody
stuff.
else.
You should see the glitter in their eyes right now.
Or the frothing in their mouth.
Well, yeah. Let's
Just
take
nodding
it
my
back.
head
So,
like,
so
sure.
Google doesn't like ranking tracked. They've
Right.
been shutting these guys down and everything else. But tracking keywords is a very effective way of watching. How you're. If you know that people are converting on a specific keyword, then you want to drive more people to that keyword.
right.
You want to improve rank on that keyword.
Right.
So this is
That's incredible.
This is awesome because all these third-party systems are kind of shutting down, but this is something that Google's passing.
Doug.
So-
can I have that code?
Yes.
So for the user that does not know anything that's going on right now, they can find out more information on a post you're going to be having on Marketing Tech Blog.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll post about it very soon because we're going to post our results with the Marketing Tech Blog.
Awesome. I tell you, I appreciate everything you do, guys. And Doug, you bring us up to date on all the things and help us focus on the latest trends. I truly appreciate that. How do they get a hold of you again?
MarketingTechBlog.com.
All right.
Or MKTG Tech Blog on Twitter or on Facebook. Look up Marketing Tech Blog, or on iPhone app right now, Marketing Tech Blog, or on Edge of the Web Radio, or you name it. Look up Marketing Tech Blog.
You can't swing a dead cat without seeing Marketing Tech Blog.
Exactly.